Dragon Ball Z collectible card game was made for the Game Boy Advance back in 2002, and like most games published by Infogrames in 2002, it got very mixed reviews. Some people saying it's grating and horrible, while others say that it's enjoyable and great to play with friends. Personally, I don't know if I'd call it a good game. It's fun if you look past some of the more obvious flaws, however whether you like the game or hate it, there's no denying how lazy it is. But why talk about it when I can show you? I'm going to run through the categories that I believe are most important to a game: sound, graphics, control, creativity, and most importantly, gameplay. Sound. The sound in this game is horrendous. There are exactly 2 songs in it, and each one is a 10 or so second loop. One goes off when 2 characters are trash talking before a fight and the credits. The other plays for everything else. If you want a good example, let me just sit on any given screen for about 20 seconds. See what I mean? And the stock sound effect is no better. If you play this, turn off the volume and crack out some Iron Maiden. Graphics. It may look like a pixelated mess on this video, but keep in mind that you are most likely viewing this full screen on a computer screen. On an actual Game Boy Advance screen, it looks fine. Everything is legible, tidy, and well laid out. It's just a card game, so graphics are pretty hard to mess up, although I do find it funny that the frame rate on the credits blows. Controls. You can't really mess up the controls in a card game. A selects things, B goes back, the directional pad moves your cursor, and Enter brings you to a screen where you can exit to the main menu. You don't even use the shoulder buttons or select outside the deck building screen. The controls are fine though. They do exactly what you need them to do, are always responsive, and extremely simple. Creativity. There isn't much room for creativity in a game that's just a port of a real tabletop card game, yet somehow they found a way. Kind of. They were creative in what characters you can pick for the game, but uncreative for the pictures used on the cards, although it could be the fault of whoever originally made the cards. For example, this is the Power Level 2 Krillin card. It says his power is a Destructo Disc, yet it shows a screenshot from the series when Guldo had him stuck in midair from telekinesis. Why not just show him ready to throw a Destructo Disc? Let's go over the interesting character list. It's divided into heroes and villains. Some cards are only for heroes and some are only for villains. Makes sense. For your starting heroes, you have Gohan as a kid and Goku. Again, makes sense. What kind of heroes can you unlock? Well, there's Krillin, longtime supporting character. You can also get Future Trunks, who played a major part in the Android saga. Over on the villain side, you have Frieza, the guy who killed Krillin cousin Goku to go Super Saiyan out of pure rage, as well as his father King Cold, who really wreaked some havoc in the movies. We also have Vegeta, who appears both on the hero and villain side, since he was the main baddie for the Saiyan saga, and became a major anti-hero by the Android saga. Here's where it gets a bit weird, though. The other character who is both a hero and a villain is Piccolo. I can see him as a hero, but villain? Yes, he was a villain in Dragon Ball, but not Zed. Hell, in the first episode he flies to Goku, says they need to put their differences aside to fight this new guy who could destroy the Earth, and they work together. But it gets weirder. One of the starters for the villains is Garlic Jr. Most people wouldn't even remember him because he was only in a few filler episodes and a few movies. Then there's Cell, who would make sense in this game, but you can't play as him. He's only a boss. But it's time for the weirdest too. The heroes can get Nail, Guru's personal bodyguard. That's a pretty minor character to put in your game in place of more well-known heroes. But here's the best part. Out of anyone prior to the Buu saga, can you guess who the final villain is? You'll never figure it out. Here we go. Guldo. Yes, Guldo. The weakest member of the Ginyu Force. The guy who is so lame that the best picture I could find of him was him being decapitated by Vegeta. Guys, if you're going to include anyone from the Ginyu Force, how about Captain Ginyu? Well, Ginyu is in the game, but only as a series of ally cards. It's creative in a strange way. Gameplay. Finally, down to the meat and potatoes of the game. As much as I've complained about the uncreative cards and how horrible the music is, the gameplay is actually very fun. There are 7 styles of cards. Freestyle, that can do anything. Blue, that focuses on lowering the anger of your opponent. Red, that focuses on raising your own anger. Black, that focuses on melee attacks. Orange, that focuses on energy attacks. Namekian, that is very defensive, and Saiyan, that is very offensive. By building a deck of only freestyle cards and cards of one particular type, you can get a bonus for mastering the one style. Every time you hurt the opponent, they discard from their life deck. That is the same deck they draw cards from. To get to their life, you either use energy attacks or you melee attack them enough that their power level reaches 0 and any extra damage will come out of their life. Some cards build anger, and every time you reach 5 anger, you go up to the next level of your character card. First person to get to their maximum character card power or make the opponent run out of life cards wins. Unfortunately, the only time you get to fight is in the short and somewhat boring campaign mode, where you fight 4 levels of people then sell. It's better if you have a friend who also has the game to play with. Overall, this is a fun game to pick up and play for half an hour or less, then put down and come back to an hour or 2 later. Unless you're already a big fan of the card game, chances are you aren't going to get hooked on it. With this being my first actual review, I'm going to explain just how I'll rate these games. First, I'll give it either a buy it, rent it, or forget it rating. Then I'll rate each category, then an overall rating out of 10. Why do both systems? Because some games are terrible but have to be played, and others could be very well made, but I can't recommend buying. For this game? Well, you can't really rent it, and I doubt you can buy it without looking online or finding a ROM. It is from 2002, however. Unless you're a big DBZ fan or love card games, I say forget it. I have fun with it, but I doubt very many do.